what devolution could and should mean for Lancashire?
So it should be that we set party politics aside and local authorities, business, other stakeholders work together and speak as one voice for Lancashire on some shared priorities, some shared ambitions. It could and should and will be, if I have anything to do with it, means that we will be able to absolutely drive up skills in the county. We're going to get the adult education budget, so we can decide, work with business, work with further education colleges and schools to really target upping skills for both people at school and school leavers, but people who are mid-career as well. I think that's what residents quite often ask, what will you get out? When will I see something? I think that's what they'll see first. It gives us the opportunity to invest in some really big projects locally, and it gives us a chance to locally shape the transport infrastructure across the county. So they're the first things in the first deal that we'll see. And whilst we're delivering that, we need to be working on the next deal for Lancashire.
And Aidy, we're latecomers to the devolution party in Lancashire. When you look at what's happened elsewhere, what kind of opportunities have there been in other parts of the country, particularly when it comes to business and business growth? What kind of things are you looking at and thinking, we'll have a bit of that?
I think we'll have a bit of everything. To be honest, I think it's the first question. We've got such a diverse set of businesses and sectors that I think if I was just to pick out one or two individual opportunities, two-thirds of the room will be saying, but what about us? I think that's one of the challenges we face. We've got such a large, diverse county, huge set of businesses, very different specialisms, very different opportunities coming forward as well. So there's probably a few things we would look at. We're probably going to talk about a couple of our big projects. Obviously, National Cyber Force arriving not too far from here relatively soon is a big game changer, and the opportunities that sit around that I think would give us a lot of space. And I would just say, well, it's our first devolution deal. We've technically agreed it with two different governments, so don't underestimate how difficult that was, but I think that sets us in good stead for moving forward, I think, as well.
And Phillippa, we're having this conversation amid kind of a wider discussion about devolution in Lancashire. What is the right deal? There are other suggestions. What would you say to people who say we should be looking at a different kind of devolution to the deal that you are already kind of shepherding down the road?
Thank you. What I would say is, I think Aidy mentioned how difficult it has been to get consensus across Lancashire to the point we've reached. I think it probably helped because I knew nothing about the history of it, because I wasn't involved in local authorities before then. But and so blindly thought this would be a really good idea. We really need to get a devolution deal for Lancashire, and we'll get everyone around the table and we'll all start talking. Then I realised how difficult it was. But so it's tested our diplomacy skills, but we've got there. We have a deal. We've negotiated it with, as Aidy said, with two governments. It's a good deal for Lancashire. It enables us to do all the things that I said before with one voice. So please don't get distracted on everything else, which is something that we tend to do historically. We get to a good place and we think, right, we can now stop talking about organisation, stop talking about governance. We can actually get on and deliver it. And then suddenly these voices start again about, oh, well, actually, we should perhaps have a different deal. We should have a different organisation. Well, that's for a different day. What we've got is a deal, which is a good deal, and we need to start delivering it.
And Aidy, when you're kind of trying to shape how devolution would work in Lancashire, how does your proposal kind of fit with local growth plans?
Well, we're working on a growth plan right now, which will be out to consultation early in the new year, I think. So we're really looking forward to everybody's input with that. But I think we've tried to link that into, I see it in like two different levels. We've worked very closely with a number of our district partners to do like what I'd probably call placemaking regeneration and growth, where we've invested in projects like Accrington in the market hall there, which is coming forward to bring a new offer to bring people back into the town centre there. Work we're probably doing with some of our coastal councils like Wire and File to look at Fleetwood regeneration and opportunities at the same time. So we've kind of operated on that level, working with Preston around the Harris Quarter, hugely successful development. And then on a different level, we're looking at how do we bring forward our big strategic sites. Lancashire Central, hopefully people are aware of that, it's on the radar. It's long overdue for delivery. We've now got a partner online with Maple Grove, we've got outline planning permission. So that site's going to start coming forward, 1.6 million square feet, I think, looking to create 6,000 job opportunities there. So a real big game changer. Then obviously, I suppose I'd point to Samlesbury Enterprise Zone, a really massive site with huge opportunities, really can help drive forward our growth plan. And sometimes you can look at that and think, why isn't it coming forward as quick as you'd like? But we've been really careful and selective because we're trying to get a good offering for all the different types of businesses and sectors across Lancashire. We don't want to underuse our best assets and put something on there that we could maybe put elsewhere. We want to really land some real big tenants and big partners there, and then unlock the supply chain opportunities for everybody in here and beyond to take advantage of that. So we get real proper growth, not somebody just moving in, taking advantage of a great site and it not rippling out across Lancashire.
And when you kind of talk about devolution, local government reorganisation, it sounds very public sector, but Phillippa, the private sector is equally as important in any devolution deal.
It's absolutely essential. So as part of our deal, we have a business board. We've set up a new business board. It's already met 3 times. I think there are some people in the room who are part of that business board, but they are an independent group of a range of really people at the top of their game from across sectors, from across the county, and we want their input, and they're inputting into the growth plan now. I think they've had 2 goes at it already, and we'll have another go at it as well. But that's as it should be, and they play a full part in the combined county authority, and will do. We value their input really strongly, and they're all really stepping up and enthused for the work that they're doing.
Okay, right, we have got about 5 minutes for some questions. So if you've got a question, stick your hand up, and then just before you ask the question, as always, just tell us who you are and what you do. Who'd like to kick us off? Anybody? I'm sort of wondering in this room, Phillippa, if somebody in this room is from a business, from a small business, and they want to get involved in shaping any kind of devolution deal, they say, look, this is the situation I'm in at the minute. I think me and my business, me and my community could benefit from this deal. They're not involved in any kind of board. They're not involved in any kind of politics. What would you say to somebody who wants to kind of have their say now on shaping a devolution deal?
Sorry, Aidy said I'm
going to take this if that's all right, Mike. I think I would just develop a little bit on Phillippa's last comments. The business board I sat on the left, as did a couple of people in the room, which I think had run its course, I think. And whereas the business board is completely just business board members, is your representatives. So I think the ways and we've hopefully constituted it well, that it reflects all sectors, all geographies, all opportunities, all specialisms. So I'm hoping everybody who's in a business, in a sector, can look and see their champion, their person they need to speak to, can advocate for their sector, whether it's the built environment, whether it's tourism, they can find people to speak to and think, okay, how do I get connected to that? And that's part of the challenge we're pushing to the business board and say, okay, you're here to speak for advanced manufacturing at this point. You need to go and create and get plugged into that network of advanced manufacturing businesses and supply chains to bring their voice in. And I would also add, speak to your chambers, speak to the FSB, speak to Richard, people at LBV, collect, yourselves, feed in all your views, and it all comes through, whether that's a direct conversation with one of us, which we're always willing to have, or whether it's through your networks, it all feeds in, and we put all that together to hear what you want and hopefully shape a growth plan that delivers what you're looking for.
Okay, we've got a couple of questions. Richard, I'll come to you next. We'll start with one just behind us. Just tell us who you are, what you do.
Nick Topoloff, I'm on the fan for CW1, and I'm off the path in my spare time as well. From Alfred guards that, so I span the county. Obviously, for healthy business growth, you need healthy business, but you also need healthy communities and an integration of the two. And do you have pathways built in or are building it so that we can pull everything together, like community involvement in local business and vice versa?
Sorry. The answer is absolutely yes. There are a number of routes to do that through the combined county authority, but through the county council itself. Our health and our directors of public health lead on that across the whole of the Lancashire footprint. They have a number of routes in to be able to do that. But you're absolutely right. You need healthy communities, healthy workforce, productive employees, and that's what we're aiming to be able to support. And a future deal may actually have elements of projects and strategies to be able to support that as well.
If I can just add to that, it may sound a bit public sector-ish, but apologise, that's who we are. But until recently, until a couple of years ago, the Director of Public Health of the County Council sat in the Adult Social Services part of the County Council. Last 18 months or so, they've been part of the Executive Directorate for Growth Regeneration. So those director conversations are exactly in that setting. So when we're trying to drive growth, transport is sat there, regeneration sat there, health is sat there, skills are sat there, because they're all part of the answer and part of the solution. So we're trying to think about how do we get healthy, skilled people into the workforce so you can grow and do what you want to do, rather than maybe look at perhaps being drawn too much into maybe the NHS world or others. So we've made that change a couple of years ago, and hopefully that will start to feed through.
Lovely. Richard?
Richard Flake from Lancashire Business View. The board of 17 is fascinating. I wonder, is there an opportunity, or is there a route by which the businesses in this room and across the county can lobby to those 17? Is that part of the process?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we'll both answer this again. Yeah, the answer is it's the board. The makeup of the board is publicly available on the website. I'm sure that they would welcome feedback from anybody, to be honest, and they will then use it in their own meetings as well. So yeah, direct route through.
Thank you. And I would add, and it's not just because Richard's asking this question, but I think the best write-up so far I've seen, if it was in your edition a couple of months ago, maybe. So I think I would encourage everybody to have a look at that, to start picking that up. And if they're not responding to you, don't know how to get in touch with us, get in touch with Simon or Amin or somebody, and we'll put you in, because that's their job to represent you. That's absolutely it.
Brilliant. Phillippa, Aidy, thank you very much.
Thank you.